Welcome to my channel. Today I want to speak about one of the deepest and most universal truths of human life, the fact that it does not last forever. For many seniors, the thought of mortality can bring both fear and reflection. Yet through Stoicism, we can learn to face this truth with calm understanding and even gratitude. The Stoics did not see death as an end to be feared, but as a natural part of existence. That gives meaning to every breath we take. When we accept this reality rather than resist it, we begin to live more fully. We stop wasting energy on what we cannot change and focus instead on what we can shape: our attitude and our choices. That is the first great lesson of facing mortality with courage and peace. As we age, the awareness of life's impermanence becomes sharper. Friends pass away, our bodies slow down, and time feels more fragile. Many people try to push these thoughts aside, but Stoicism teaches us to bring them closer, to look directly at the truth. By doing so, we remove its power to frighten us. The Stoics encouraged a daily reflection on mortality, not as a dark obsession, but as a practice. That makes life richer. When you remember that your days are finite, you stop taking them for granted. You call your loved ones more often, you forgive more easily, you appreciate a sunrise like it was your first. Mortality becomes a reminder to live deeply. There's a beautiful Stoic idea that we should meditate on death so that we may learn how to live. The philosopher Seneca once said that he who has learned how to die has unlearned how to be a slave. What he meant is that fear of death is the root of many of our anxieties and desires. Once that fear loses its hold, we gain freedom. Seniors who embrace this philosophy often find a renewed sense of purpose. They start new hobbies, spend time in nature, or share stories with younger generations. Life's fragility no longer feels like a curse, but a call to action. This mindset does not make us morbid, it makes us alive. Facing mortality is not about pretending we are not afraid. It is about acknowledging fear and walking through it with open eyes. The Stoics remind us that courage is not the absence of fear, but the mastery of it. When you look at your life and see all that you have endured, all that you have loved, you realize you have already been brave. You survived losses, hardships, and changes that once felt impossible. That same strength can guide you through the final chapters. Stoicism helps us see death not as an enemy, but as part of the rhythm of nature. There's also comfort in knowing that everything in nature follows the same cycle. The leaves fall, the tides change, the stars burn out. Nothing escapes this pattern, not even the greatest empires or the smallest insects. Seeing ourselves as part of that grand flow can bring peace. It is not personal, it is simply the way of the universe. The Stoics believed that when our time comes, it is not a punishment, it is a return to the source. This view helps us accept the inevitable with dignity and grace. One of the greatest burdens of aging is regret. Many seniors look back and wish they had done more, said more, loved more. But Stoicism teaches that regret is another form of clinging to what cannot be changed. The past is no longer within our control, so we must let it rest. What matters is how we live now. Even in our later years, we have the power to choose kindness, to share wisdom, to forgive ourselves and others. When we release regret, we free space in our hearts for peace. Stoicism also offers practical exercises for calming the mind. One of them is the practice of focusing only on what is within your control. Your health may decline, but your attitude remains yours. The world may change, but your response belongs to you. When we narrow our focus to what we can truly influence, the noise fades away. Seniors often find this practice liberating. It reduces anxiety and gives clarity in uncertain times. You stop fighting the current and start floating with it. It is also essential to find gratitude in small moments. A cup of tea in the morning, a phone call from a friend, a quiet walk at sunset. The Stoics believed that every day is a gift from nature. When we treat it that way, life feels abundant no matter our circumstances. Gratitude shifts our attention from what we have lost to what we still have. It builds resilience and strengthens our connection to the present moment. Each small joy becomes an act of defiance against despair. Stoicism encourages us to see death not as a thief but as a teacher. It teaches us to live in alignment with our values and to keep our hearts open. Every time we act with kindness, patience, or courage, we practice the art of dying well. Because a good death is simply the reflection of a good life. When you meet the end with peace, it means you lived honestly and with purpose. There is no greater victory than that. Some seniors fear the unknown, what happens after we take our last breath. The Stoics remained humble before this mystery. They did not claim to know, but they trusted nature. Just as we did not fear coming into the world, we need not fear leaving it. The universe has carried us this far, and it will carry us further. This trust dissolves fear and leaves room for serenity. When we release our need to control the unknown, we finally rest in acceptance. We can also learn from those who have walked before us. Many Stoic philosophers lived through wars, plagues, and personal loss, yet they maintained calm minds. Their writings remind us that peace is possible even in chaos. Reading their words can be like hearing the voice of a wise friend saying you are not alone. For seniors facing mortality, these ancient voices still offer modern comfort. Their wisdom bridges time and reminds us that the human spirit is eternal in its courage. Facing mortality with peace also involves connecting with others. Loneliness often magnifies fear, but shared reflection can heal it. When seniors speak openly about death with family or friends, the topic loses its heaviness. Conversations become deeper and love grows stronger. It is in our vulnerability that we truly bond. Stoicism teaches us that no one is ever completely alone. We are all part of something larger. Spirituality and Stoicism often meet in the space of acceptance. Whether one believes in God, the cosmos, or simply the beauty of existence, Stoicism invites a spiritual calm. It does not demand faith in a doctrine, but faith in the natural order. For many seniors, this blend of reason and spirituality feels grounding. It offers both logic for the mind and comfort for the heart. Facing mortality then becomes less about religion and more about harmony with life itself. There's also wisdom in simplicity. As we age, it becomes clear that possessions and status matter less than peace of mind. Stoicism promotes minimalism, not just of things but of thoughts. By letting go of unnecessary worries, we lighten our emotional load. We stop trying to control how others see us or how the world changes. Simplicity gives space for gratitude, clarity, and love. Seniors who live with Stoic principles often radiate calm strength. They become anchors for their families and communities. Their presence reminds others that peace is possible even in decline. They may face illness or loss, but they do not collapse under it. Their steadiness is their legacy. This is the quiet heroism. Stoicism cultivates the courage to stay serene when everything else shifts. Every day we have the chance to practice dying by practicing living well. Each act of patience or forgiveness prepares us for the final release. The Stoics taught that philosophy is not just words, but training for the soul. When you train your mind to meet challenges with grace, you also train it to meet death without fear. This lifelong discipline becomes your final comfort. Facing mortality does not mean giving up. It means letting go of illusions that life can be controlled. It means cherishing what truly matters: love, integrity, wisdom. When seniors understand this, they often find joy returning unexpectedly. The weight of fear lifts, and what remains is simple gratitude for being alive today. There will still be moments of sadness and longing. Stoicism does not erase emotion, it refines it. You can feel loss without being crushed by it. You can cry and still feel thankful. That balance between heart and reason is where peace lives. Seniors who reach that state embody the best of Stoic wisdom and human compassion. In the end, death is not a wall, but a doorway. It reminds us to value time and live in accordance with nature. Stoicism for seniors helps transform fear into wisdom and uncertainty into acceptance. We cannot choose how long we live, but we can choose how well we live and how peacefully we depart. Even as we approach the later stages of life, there's always more to learn about ourselves. Mortality becomes not an ending, but a mirror showing what truly mattered all along. It strips away the noise and reveals the essence of who we are. Stoicism helps us see that the measure of a good life is not how long it lasted, but how deeply it was lived. Seniors who accept this understanding often discover a new kind of freedom. They stop chasing after lost time and instead savor what remains with full awareness. Every breath becomes a prayer of gratitude, every smile a quiet victory. In this clarity, life regains its beauty and death loses its sting. So as you reflect on your own journey, remember that you are part of an eternal rhythm, one that continues long after we are gone. The courage to face mortality without fear is the final lesson of wisdom, the crown of a well-lived life. Let Stoicism. Thanks for watching. May you find strength in every sunrise and calm in every sunset. Remember that the art of living is also the art of dying well. Through Stoic reflection, we can face mortality with courage and peace, leaving behind not fear, but wisdom and love for those who follow.